So one of my most popular videos on my channel is a video talking about some features that you may not know that the Rodecaster Pro has. If you don't know what the Rodecaster Pro is, it's sitting right behind me there, and it's basically an all-in-one system for recording and producing podcasts. It is absolutely incredible. It's one of my favourite pieces of tech to use. It's one of the best sort of investments I've actually made when it comes to buying sort of production equipment, whether it's cameras for photography and videography, microphones to improve my audio. But the Rodecaster Pro has just been hands down one of the things that I've always gone back to and just found so easy to use. So this is kind of like a part 2 to that first video, a little follow-up with some more features that you may not know that the Rodecaster Pro has. Let's roll the intro. So welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you very much for joining me for another video. If we're just meeting, it's nice to meet you. My name is Connor Wells. I am a photographer, videographer, and podcast producer, and I make videos around either of those 3 subjects every single week. So if that's something you're into, consider subscribing. Now, I am the producer of a number of podcasts. Probably the most notable one is The British Entrepreneur, hosted by John Joseph Bourgerie. It's a great podcast. It's a 2-camera setup, and I use the Rodecaster Pro to record the audio. If you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that I've used the Rodecaster Pro on various videos, including this one here, which is why I've got it in the background behind me, and I'm currently using one of the pod mics. I've got 4 of these pod mics just in case. You never know, you might have a 4-guest podcast episode, so it's always good to have, spares. Probably a little bit overkill, but why not? The Rodecaster Pro is generally just so easy to use. It's not complicated at all, but there are some features that people may not be aware of that the Rodecaster Pro can do. Some of that has actually just come with software updates, or just maybe need a little bit more explaining about what these features actually do. Now, I don't actually use all of these features, but for somebody watching this video, some of them may actually be quite useful for you. So let's get into these features with feature number 1. Now, feature number 1 is producer mode. So this isn't really for the hosts or guests. This is probably for the producer of the podcast. Now, if you are producing and hosting the podcast, this could be for you as well. But if you do have a podcast producer, like most of the shows that I produce does, because it's me, so this is kind of for you. But again, if you are just a solo producer and host, this could be for you as well. Sometimes when recording a podcast, you'll need to prep a guest before bringing them into the live feed. This usually involves a conversation that plans the entry of the guest into your show, which is actually quite important, but probably not the most interesting for your listeners and audience. And for this reason, the Rodecaster Pro has producer mode. This can be activated by pressing the solo and mute buttons for the host channel and any other channel that you want to prep, including the smartphone, Bluetooth, and USB channels. Now, just in case you didn't know, the host channel is channel number 1. So if you are the host, or just, the main talking point, person who's going to be speaking the most, probably put them in channel 1, which is what I'm running this microphone out of right now. The icons for each channel in producer mode will turn yellow on the touchscreen. You can turn up the faders for each channel participating in the producer mode conversation, allowing each of the guests in these channels to communicate without the audio being recorded, which is pretty handy, because if you're prepping a guest and you just tell them, sit close to the mic, don't shout too much, you know what I mean, just preparing a guest, have a good conversation, have a great podcast, enjoy, you're up. Not really something that the audience and listeners are going to be wanting to be listening to. Now, feature number 2 is USB Mix Minus. Now, this feature is really helpful for if you're doing Zoom calls or Riverside FM, which is the platform I prefer to use over the Zoom, because you get high quality uncompressed audio and you can record up to 4K. Not a plug, but just something to keep in mind that Riverside is probably a little bit better than Zoom. This also works for team meetings or Google Hangouts. So have you ever been in a Zoom meeting and you or the other people on the call can hear an echo in their voice? This can be something that's really distracting, and you don't really want this to be in the recording of your podcast, particularly if you're uploading it to YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That's not going to be a great user experience. This can be distracting and not something you want to be audible in your podcast if you're recording remote callers via USB. So if I'm doing a podcast with somebody and they are, say, overseas, we'll plug the Rodecaster Pro into my MacBook Pro, run it through Riverside, and with USB Mix Minus on, it eliminates all of the echo, and I'm going to explain that now. When activated while using the USB channel to bring in a remote caller, the Rodecaster Pro will cancel out the returning audio to your comms app, resulting in crystal clear, echo-free communication between you and your guest. Now, to activate the USB Mix Minus, simply go to Settings, Advanced, Audio, and then Processing, and press USB Mix Minus. The other communications channels on the Rodecaster Pro, like Bluetooth or smartphone, will automatically apply Mix Minus to their channels and signals, so you don't have to worry about switching this on to avoid echo-free calls, which is what nobody wants. Feature number 3. Now this is something that's really useful for me, and that is broadcast meters. I've said at the beginning, the Rodecaster Pro is absolutely fantastic for beginners. It's so easy to use. You can literally just plug a microphone in, press record, and you're going to get great sounding audio. But for the more experienced podcast producers who use this as part of their profession and is their like full-time stick and need to know the real sort of nitty-gritty details and need to know the broadcast meters, the decibel levels, this is a great feature to have, and I have this on all of the time. When activated, all meters on the home screen will be displayed with the full dBFS markers. Very handy when you need to precisely gauge at what level a channel is peaking. Now, to switch on broadcast meter mode, it's pretty simple. Simply go to Settings, Advanced, Audio, Operations, and press Broadcast Meters. Now, I like to keep my audio levels at about -12 decibels. That way it gives me a little bit of wriggle room to see if the audio needs bringing up in post or bringing down in post as well, just in case there is somebody who is peaking. Somebody who's peaking sounds really weird. Anyway, let's move on to feature number 4. Feature number 4 is headphone boost. Now, I'm going to be honest, I haven't really properly invested in a good pair of headphones. I bought the Rodecaster Pro in a bundle kit from Gear for Music, and it came with these very basic Gear for Music headphones, and let's be honest, they're not the best. They're pretty flimsy and probably aren't delivering the best audio quality. Unfortunately, with the Rodecaster Pro, you can't connect Bluetooth headphones, so I can't actually connect my AirPods to the Rodecaster Pro, which is kind of handy, but not handy as well, because I'm sure there would be some latency. But it would be a cool feature to have in maybe like a new Rodecaster Pro, maybe. Rode, if you're watching, USB headphones with 0 latency. Anyway, let's talk about headphone boost. Podcasters use many different types of headphones, ranging from earbuds to high impedance studio headphones, some of which will require more volume to reach a suitable level for monitoring. Now, when I am producing podcasts, I do wear those headphones. They're not the best quality, they don't deliver enough bass really, and they can be quite tinny, but I do wear them just to monitor the audio, to make sure one guest isn't louder than the other, make sure the host isn't being sort of swarmed by the guests' channels. So, you know, it's good to wear them. I never really ever do a podcast without wearing headphones to monitor, because you never know what could happen. Now, if you have got a cheap pair of headphones, and if you notice that you need to push your headphone output quite a bit while podcasting, try using the headphone boost function. Now, this is really handy for that particular set of headphones. They do need a bit of headphone boost. So I'm going to explain how to turn on headphone boost mode. To activate this, simply head to Settings, Advanced, Headphones, and tap on Boost Headphone Volume. But before you do this, turn all of the headphone volumes knobs down to 0 and simply fade them up a little bit to avoid the guests having a bit of ear damage or ringing and tinnitus. Slowly dial them up to where they're at a comfortable level, because it does boost it by quite a bit. And just to remember, a little thing to keep in mind, when turning on headphone boost mode, it affects every single headphone plugged into the Rodecaster Pro. So if somebody is using slightly better quality headphones, it will affect them, and you may need to turn their channel down whilst you may need to turn your channel up. So it does affect all channels of the headphones, not just a single channel. So keep that in mind. Now we're moving on to the final feature, and that is feature number 5, and that is MIDI control. Now, this is a new feature that came with the Rodecaster Pro. I've got to be honest, this is something that I'm probably not going to use when it comes to using the Rodecaster Pro, because this is really sort of designed for, I guess, you know, streamers and stuff, and I don't really stream much on like YouTube or Twitch. I'll occasionally do a stream, but I don't really need MIDI control. I do actually plug the Rodecaster Pro into my Mac and run the audio for a live stream on YouTube, but I don't need MIDI control. So if you're not sure what MIDI control is, I'm going to show you how to activate it, and also one example of a use for it. To turn on MIDI control for your Rodecaster Pro, connect it to the computer you want to record. Then go to Settings, Advanced, Audio, and operations and tap on MIDI control. And then once activated, the Rodecaster Pro will be able to control various parameters within a host of programs via MIDI commands. Now, for example, the one use that I possibly would use it for is OBS. Now, OBS is personally what I use for streaming to YouTube when I do live streams. It's really simple to use, a great interface, and connects really well with the Rodecaster Pro. The Rodecaster Pro's sound pads can even be set up to switch scenes in streaming software. This is useful for live streamers and content creators who need to quickly switch cameras or switch scenes and displays while streaming. To set this up, you will again need to make sure the MIDI control is activated within your Rodecaster Pro settings. So if you're doing a live stream with, say, multiple camera setups and you've got one here, one up there, one up here, one to the back of you, or like a wide shot, or if you've got, say, like a waiting home screen or end of live stream, like picture or thing that you want to be looping, you can literally like tap on the sound pads, which usually are used for sound effects and intro music or things that you've recorded to them. And you can press those buttons and control things like that. And I think that is honestly a really great feature. Again, it's not something that I'm going to personally use because I don't stream much. And if I do stream, it's literally one camera, one mic, and boom, away we go. But it's a really great feature to have. So I hope you found these 5 features really useful. Let me know if they helped you with your Rodecaster Pro usage, whether you're a solo podcast host, a producer, or actually using the Rodecaster Pro in your streaming setup. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will hopefully see you in the next video right over there.